回到中华电视。这期节目我们看到了 Chris 和 Suzanne 这对夫妇在他们大半辈子的生命中对中国深深的热爱之情。但是未来会怎么样？中国会更加西方化吗？西方世界会更加接受中国的现状吗？让我们和陈阳国生女士一起寻找答案。
So Chris, from our generation and our friendship, and becomes really close as family relationship, has been last for 27 years. It will go on, and what would you capture for the future development of the nation relationship and people relationship and family relationship between these two countries, China and Australia?
Well, I think that the most important thing that's going to happen over the next 20 years or so is that as China opens to the West, and as more Westerners get to know China, the hidden history of the relationship and importance of China will start to emerge. Throughout our generation and our parents' generation, the role that China played in world history and civilization has been sort of covered up, and we trace our cultural roots back to Greece and to Babylonia and to Egypt. And at some point soon we're going to have to face the fact that it actually all started a bit further east. And that the real roots of the whole of modern civilization are, at least in part, to be found in China, and there has been a continuous, uninterrupted interplay between China and the rest of the world. It has suited governments of every kind at different parts of history to deny the reality of the interchange going on, but it has always been there, and when we recognise it, in some time, gradually in the future, it will make clear in a way that nothing else can that we all are just one human race.
I think everybody, well, most people in the educated people in the Western world now realise that international collaboration is critical if we're to have peace, and if our planet is to survive. So we all have to work together, and the only way to work together is to work together.
To work at it.
Actually,
on a day-to-day
one-on-one, on a day-to-day basis, at a very grassroots level.
The generation of ours went through the Cultural Revolution, which denounced the history, denounced the culture of ancient times, and it was foreigners that they appreciated the old culture that put us in a position of rethinking why. And after having a lot of cultural comparison since I came to work in Australia and now living in Australia, we have a lot better understanding and appreciation of Chinese culture, not only as the culture of that nation, but as the culture of the whole human society.
虽然时光在不停地流逝，历史记载中也有很多所谓的文化分歧，但是中国悠久历史留存下来的丰富的艺术珍品和文化宝库已经被世人所瞩目。Chris 和 Suzanne 的故事就是很好的例子。
Hi Chris, tell me about this ball you're holding in your hands.
Well, this is one of the simplest pieces we own and one of my favourite, which we bought in Nanjing at the Friendship Store on our first visit to Nanjing together. And why I like this piece is not just because of the beautiful artwork and the beautiful shape, but it reminds me of the age of Chinese civilization, because when we were in Hangzhou, we went to the museum in the old Imperial Library, and there was exhibits showing that there is pieces of wood from China with lacquer on them from 6000 BC.
同时 Suzanne 喜爱的中国艺术形式还有很多，其中中国传统的古诗就是她小小的爱好。
Lu Xi was a painter and a poet, and I think in this poem he captures something that's present in so many of the classical Chinese paintings and poems, something of the importance of the resonance between the human soul and all of nature. Between the mountain walls, a waterfall is falling, like a snowy string as if from the sky. Beyond the heavens, the cave of the distant cloudy peaks is clear and bright. One often hears a clear and distinct chanting voice echoing in the forested ravine. In the midst of the green cliffs, one suspects there is someone contemplating.
And Chris, what about your, future, ongoing connections with Chinese culture?
Well, I'm most interested in the development of law in China, and the tension there is between the need, on the one hand, for Chinese authorities to maintain a degree of social order, and given the complexities of economic and social life in China, that leads to problems that we find difficult to understand here in Australia. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, there's a very strong need in China, as China opens to the world, to develop a commercial legal system much more like the one in the West, so that companies and individuals doing business in China and with China will feel secure and comfortable in that their bargains will be honoured in the way they understand them, and that their rights that they've bargained for will be honoured in a way that they can understand in advance.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
以上您收看到的就是我们这一期的节目，感谢您的观赏。下期节目我们将向您介绍岭南画会优美的水墨画，我们的摄像机将带您走进这些著名的岭南画派艺术家的世界。